We've got sort of a whitey beige world with a white background. So we need to just tune this up now. First thing I'm going to do is we've got the sky emitting light. We might go for maybe a bit more of a kind of spotlight look for this, just for starters. So what I'm going to do is come to my world setting, and I'm going to dial down the strength of this a fair bit. I'm going to take it maybe down to 1, okay? If you go down to 0, it'll be all black. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in here a plane. So currently Cycles uses, instead of our traditional lamp setup, it uses meshes as emitters. So I've set up this mesh. I'm going to come to my materials panel, click on new, and change this to an emission. Okay, that's good. Now we can see it's lighting up the scene. And what's pretty exciting about this Cycles is we can see that as I move the plane here, it changes the way that the light works. It sounds like our gardener's up to a bit of whippersnippering in the background there, but we won't worry about that. So I'm just going to rotate this panel and light the scene up. Now, it's not a very exciting way that I've lit this. It's not really on an angle or adding many dynamics to it, so I might just sort of start to rotate this panel so it's kicking the light to the side a little bit, and I'll just come over this way. Okay, so we've got the shadow falling off to the left there, and we've got a bit of highlight there. I might pull things up maybe just a little bit. It looks a fraction overexposed. Okay, that's looking better, I think. Now I'm going to select my text, and I haven't added a material to that yet. Now we've got lots of options here in Cycles. I might just add in, this time, diffuse, glossy, transparent, velvet. There's lots of good ones. I might add in a translucent material, because the translucents give us caustics, which are the kind of like illuminated shadows that you see when things shine through glass. So I'm going to just maybe turn that on. Let's give it a colour. I don't know what I'm going to go for. I might go for I don't know, let's go for blue, light blue glass or something like that. Okay, now I think that's going to work well. Other thing I might do just at this point in time, because I've decided to work with a translucent material, I'm also going to add in a second light source from the side. So I might have a look from above, duplicate this around, rotate it around so we're getting some shine in from the side here, and then I'm going to bring this down, making sure that it's just out of scene from the camera. Rotate this a little bit. Okay, and probably pull the power down on this a little bit as well. I'll break this apart so it's got its own individual setting. Okay, that should be good. Now if we let Cycles run and render this right out, you'll get a nice smooth result. At the moment we're just seeing it in preview, getting a feel for how it's looking. We're just about ready to go here, I think. We've got our animation happening, so let's just turn this back into our timeline, and let's just pull this down a little bit. Okay, let's view this through the camera. I'll hit play. I prefer not to play using Cycles just because it's a bit hard on the processor for this sort of thing, so I've got it here using my solid window. Hit play. Let's have a look. Yep, so you can see with that wider camera, things are sort of swinging out and through at the camera. I think that's looking pretty okay. Yep. Just giving us a little bit more dynamic. And that all looks pretty good for the moment, I think. Okay. Right, so I'm going to stop there for the moment. So really all is left to do, once we've got this set up, is make sure you save this file. So do a save as. Save it before you go and render things, because that's generally one of the times when your computer likes to crash. And remember, this is a test build of the software, so we can't be, 100% confident that it's not going to crash. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come across to my render panel here, and I can see at the moment I've got my output, and it's just the default is my temp file. I want to change that, so I'm going to change it, say, to my desktop. That's okay, and I'm just going to set this as, say, text animation example. Call it whatever you want. That's good, so I'm just going to accept that. So when it does the animation, it's now going to save it to my desktop, and I don't want a PNG. I'm just going to output a H.264. That'll do nicely. It's a nice, good universal sort of format there. We've got stuff on encoding in here, but we won't worry about it too much. We can see it's going to render out an AVI H.264, and that's going to work perfect for me in QuickTime, and it's going to be easy enough to edit within some basic Apple editing software, so that I can knock any rough edges off this if I need to. Right, okay, so everything's set up, we're ready to go. Let's rewind this to frame 1. Okay, and then all I've got to do is basically click on render animation, and it's going to then go off and render, and it's going to go from frame 1 to end at 125. We're going to have a completed bit of animation. Great, that's all going to be good. Just check, sometimes Blender saves out some weird file names, but if you put it in a relatively sort of clean folder, then it's going to be fairly obvious what the file has been written as, and that'll all be good. Save your work before you go, and just remember that cycles can take quite a while to render these types of things to really high detail, so you might want to just leave your computer overnight, or let it run on a bigger desktop if you're using a laptop or something like that. I suppose the other thing that we can change the number of passes that Cycles does to up or down the quality. Other things, we've got this, we can simulate different sorts of films here, which are really interesting, the way that we can change the lighting, which is an excellent move in the right direction. And look, that's about it for the moment. I'm going to go off and render mine now, and I'll let you to do the same. Thanks for watching. See ya.